Fight, are you ready?
Combate Global.
Oh, what a punch. What an incredible fight. Can you believe what you just saw? We have a champion.
Welcome into the best of Combate Global. You're in the best place right now to be entertained. Glad you could join us. I am Max Bretos, Alex Wendling joining us. And Alex, we're going to start at the very top, the best of 2023, our top two fighters from the year. We're talking about the best striker and the best grappler. Maritza Sanchez, number one when it comes to striking.
Yes, Maritza Sanchez brings the heat every time she comes into La Jaula, rightfully so, training with Uriah Faber over there in Northern California, and she brings the mayhem. She brings combos 6 to 8 punches at a time, getting the knockout when she wants it.
You're going to really enjoy Maritza Sanchez. She has grown and grown into being the best that Combate has to offer. When we talk about the best grappler, we talk about K-Rock, Kayla Rocco. She comes in, when she gets you on the ground, it's usually curtains.
And originally her pedigree was boxing, and now she's really expanding her ground game. It's fascinating to see it.
That's going to make her very dangerous. Could be a good hybrid striker slash grappler, but you see, you got to be good at everything. But if you're good at one thing, you go to the top, the very best. Let's start with Maritza Sanchez. Let's go to the tail of the tape as she fights Dee Begley. Let's go to the head-to-head between Dee Begley and Maritza Sanchez. Alex, as you can see, this is in the flyweight division. Big height and reach advantage for Sanchez.
Yes, and two ladies representing two tough countries, Ireland versus Mexico, with fight styles that are come forward nonstop, fight in the pocket until someone drops.
It's going to be entertaining as these two clash inside La Jaula. Let's get you to all the action. Our ring announcer is Lupe Contreras.
Continuamos con mucha más acción. 3 vueltas, División Peso Mosca. We continue with much more action. 3 rounds in the flyweight division. Los jueces son, the judges are Mark Streisand, Dorian Mirasola y Vicente Rodríguez. Presentando la esquina azul, vestida de azul, presenting the blue corner, wearing blue. Marcó un peso oficial de 126 libras. She registered on official 126 pounds. En su quinto combate, con 3 victorias y una derrota, she enters La Jaula for the 5th time as a pro, with 3 victories against 1 defeat. Hailing from Cork, and now fighting out of Dublin, Ireland. Despicable Dee Begley. En la esquina roja, vestida de negro. In the red corner, wearing black, su peso oficial, 126 libras. She registered an identical 126 pounds. Y entra a La Jaula con un récord idéntico al de su rival de 3 victorias y una derrota. She enters La Jaula with an identical record of 3 victories against 1 defeat. Hailing from El Dorado, California, Maritza Sanchez. El referee internacional, Raúl Porrata.
Center. Obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. I expect a clean fight. Touch gloves now. Toquen guantes. Back to your corners.
We're ready to go here. Maritza Sanchez, there's Dee Begley. Ready. Sanchez, our number 1 striker here in Combate Global. And Alex, we're going to give the audience here on Fuse TV a real treat. You'll get to see why she is at the top of the list.
Yes, and both of these fighters are riding a 3-fight win streak in this fight, so they're going to want to continue that win streak going.
Oh, of course, Maritza Sanchez in the black. And early stand-up. They're going to swing for the fences. And Dee Begley, the Irish fighter, we know about Irish MMA. It's growing thanks to the one and only Conor McGregor. But we see
SPG Ireland.
And John Kavanagh, who trains Dee Begley. We talk about Patrick Lehan, which has been a good Irish contingent here at Combate Global. It is a very fertile ground for fighters, and Dee Begley amongst them.
Now we see Maritza Sanchez really measuring out Dee. We saw a few combinations in the beginning there, and she's just taking her time here, really trying to take the center of La Jaula.
Quick exchange. What makes a good striker? I mean, it seems like an easy question, but it's more, when you say striking, whether it's kickboxing or boxing, MMA, it's a different skill set because at any moment your feet could be taken away. What makes a good striker here inside the Jaula?
Inside this particular situation, it's how Maritza can use her size advantage in this particular occasion. She's really starting to walk down Dee, and Dee's going to start to taste some of the power that Maritza Sanchez has.
Sanchez long, a little counter punch there from Dee Begley.
And mixing in those knees. And you'll see also in the clinch, those elbows that sneak in there, those do not feel good.
Close quarters in the clinch for some of the folks here on Fuse TV who might be new to MMA. We know we have a sophisticated crowd out there, and you know your stuff, but follow along. But this is a tremendous place to sharpen your skill set when it comes to mixed martial arts.
And you'll see that overhand right that Dee Begley keeps using. It's opening her up for a lot of counter strikes, and Maritza's really just working on timing that. And you'll see also Maritza blocking those shots as she does. And one body shot that already sends Dee back against the cage. She's shelling up already, and you can hear her corner. You gotta fight back, Dee.
She ain't fighting back. That left hand has got some firepower. Just really good with both hands as Maritza Sanchez gets back in the clinch. Still
it's like
throwing.
a wasp right now, non-stop.
You get all that coaching from the corner. It's hard to hear it when you're getting hit with all those fists.
And now Maritza's really looking to capitalize here. Obviously, Dee is able to shake the cobwebs off a little bit, but after some of those body shots, you got to imagine her rib cage is not feeling too great here.
Dee Begley is tough as they come. She's been fighting it since an early age.
Ooh,
MMA.
and that body shot.
Oh, going to the body. We saw her going upstairs. She's going downstairs. And then Raul Porata's seen enough.
Maritza
stoppage.
Sanchez gets it done. Yes, much needed. Dee Begley on the ground, needing to take a few moments after those body shots, and then a gnarly hook straight to the temple was the last shot. Raul Porata saw enough, and a very emotional Maritza Sanchez on now a 4-fight win streak after that TKO.
You can imagine the variety of reasons why she has been or had her emotions drawn. I would have to say, Alex, at the top of the list, having a game plan and executing it perfectly has to be there, and it was. She went upstairs, and then she got the body. You can see Dee Begley still holding her ribs.
And Maritza was really patient because Dee Begley was coming in with those overhands, and she wasn't getting overzealous with it. She waited for the time to capitalize on the body, head. Maritza Sanchez continuing her win streak tonight.
Built like a proper athlete, Maritza Sanchez, those broad shoulders. She uses them. The one and only Campbell McLaren inside the Jaula to congratulate Sanchez. Extremely impressive. We'll get to see her a little bit more, but this fight, you see why she is rated so highly.
And this clip went absolutely viral on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. This is the fight that made Maritza known a very emotional star to be born in La Jaula.
We'll be back with the official decision here on the Best of Combate Global. Welcome back to the Best of Combate Global. Our best performances. Maritza Sanchez just had one. Let's go now for the official decision inside the Jaula. Our ring announcer, Lupe Contreras.
El tiempo oficial, 2 minutos 45 segundos del primer episodio. The official time, 2 minutes 45 seconds of the opening round. Your winner, by way of KO, la vencedora por nocaut, Maritza Sanchez.
Well, Alex, there are 3 ways. I don't want to sound too elementary here. There's 3 ways to win. Well, there's more than, but the 3 main ways to win in combate and in MMA, it is decision, it's submission, and it is knockout or TKO. This was the first TKO in Maritza Sanchez's career. Maybe a reason why she was so emotional.
Yes, and rightfully deserved. She smelled blood in the water after that first body shot, and she capitalized off the weakness of Dee Begley in this moment.
Look at those body shots, and that just started.
Down she goes. Ooh, Dee Begley is tough because she ate a lot of them before she officially went down.
Sanchez knew it. She knew those punches were leaving a sting, and her hand raised as she continues to rise in the Combate Global rankings.
Always love seeing Maritza Sanchez fight, as you can see, and I'm a big fan of the late bloomer, somebody who's discovered MMA and has taken to it so well. That describes Maritza Sanchez. She is our #1 striker, Alex, but you clearly see this is a fighter that can do everything, but when it comes to push and pull against a very good Irish opponent in Dee Begley, she gets it done.
And Maritza Sanchez is the type of fighter that she wants to come forward. She wants to make you uncomfortable, especially with her style. Even at the distance, she's obviously a threat. But if you get her in the clinch, you think you're immobilizing her. But if you give her an inch of space, she'll sneak in an elbow, show that Muay Thai skill. And that's what makes her our top grappler. And we determined that with Combat IQ, who built a computer model to determine which fighters had the greatest showing in 2023. And for top striker, we saw that from accuracy at distance, total strikes landed, and the defense, Maritza Sanchez was our #1 striker.
The data, the computer is certainly very valuable when it comes to combat sports because it is just raw data that they have been able to put through, and the computer loves Maritza Sanchez. We're going to get to see her a little bit more, and one thing to keep in mind about Maritza here is she is a work in progress in 2023. We saw her early getting it done even back as 2021, 2022. She's becoming a well-oiled machine by 23.
Yeah, and her combinations is what really puts the pressure on these fighters. We saw in that Dee Begley fight with 6 to 8 combos at a time, ending with a gnarly body shot, completely knocking the wind out of Dee Begley. She is a threat. She's 6-1. Her only loss to Tina Pettigrew when she got submitted in her debut fight. So she is an absolute train coming for the top, and she wants that belt around her waist.
Maritza Sanchez at the top of the pecking order here in Combate Global. We'll see more of her later on the show. We'll see more of her in 2024 on Combate Global. Keep an eye on that. Let's turn to the top grappler. We'll see Kayla Rocco a few times here. This is another fighter that impressed the heck out of me throughout the year, and since we first saw her, very adaptive in many ways. We talk about the grappling, again, very well-rounded as a fighter. This is a fight that she is going to take on against Andrea Meneses, and I think it's important when you look at the competition in Combate Global, there are no easy nights.
Yeah, Andrea Meneses has a loss against Tiny Mexa. So Kayla Rocco's last fight was against Tiny Mexa. She did a very strong win against Tiny Mexa, and the unanimous decision went her way. Tiny Mexa is a tough wrestler, but Kayla Rocco coming in as our top grappler, that's for a reason. Her control time, her takedown attempts and takedowns are all something that calculated her as our top grappler for 2023. And coming from someone whose pedigree is in boxing, she's our top grappler. That shows that her skill set is really just expanding and becoming versatile in the martial arts field.
Be well-rounded, but if you have a specialty, it's not too shabby either. Let us get you to all the action. Kayla Rocco and Andrea Meneses. This is the tale of the tape.
And here's how it looks. And Alex, the first thing you would probably notice, absolute equilibrium when it comes to height and reach in this atomweight clash between Rocco and Meneses.
Exactly. No physical advantages. It's who has the better technique in this fight.
We are ready to get it started. Time now for the introductions. Let's go inside the jaula. Our ring announcer, Beatriz Calis.
Continuamos con mucha más acción este duelo. En la división peso átomo, we continue with much more action this bout. In the atomweight division, los jueces son, the judges are Robert Christopher Edgehill, Richard Green Sr., and James Lázaro. Y ahora, damas y caballeros, llegó el momento de un combate global. Introducing the blue corner, en la esquina azul, wearing black, vestida de negro. Su peso oficial, 106 libras, her official weight, 106 pounds, with a pro record of 5 victories and 1 defeat, con un récord profesional de 5 victorias y 1 derrota. From Gaba, España, Andrea Cali Meneses. In the red corner, en la esquina roja, wearing white and red, vestida de rojo y blanco. Su peso oficial, 105.2 libras, her official weight, 105.2 pounds, with a pro record of 5 victories and 4 losses, con un récord profesional de 5 victorias y 4 derrotas. From Reading, Pennsylvania, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, Kayla K-Rock Rocco.
We'll get to all the action. First round inside the jaula next.
Ramon Ramos.
We are ready to go here with the best performances. Ramon Ramos is the third inside the jaula. There is Kayla Rocco in white, Andrea Meneses on the left. We got a little USA Spain here. These are big Big topic, certainly, when it comes to Combate Global, representing your country. You get to do that here.
Yes, 100%. And when they were faced off, it looked like Kayla Rocco had a little bit of a height advantage. So we'll see if she'll be able to make the most of that here.
She grew an inch or two after the weigh-ins.
After the tail of the tape, she just sprouted up.
You never know. It's amazing, Alex. We see that a lot. And when you see these people on the street, they look the same. But when it comes to fight night, you start to see some disparities. And certainly, these fighters will use that to their advantage. Keep in mind, this is the best performance show, and Kayla Rocco, #1 when it comes to grappling. But we'll see her all-around game.
And her stats actually have her as the top striker as well, but not enough to beat Maritza Sanchez. So she was granted as top grappler, and we're going to get to see that here. But some of her boxing that she'll showcase against Andre Meneses, it's going to be beautiful.
Amateur boxer who transitioned into MMA, training with some great ones at America Top Team. Trying to get inside there on Andrea Meneses. So this is a tough fight to prepare for you from Meneses, because you know you're dealing with the #1 grappler in Combate, but somebody with an exceptional boxing, kickboxing background.
And you mentioned American Top Team. Kayla Rocco's training with people like Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So I'm sure she was getting great rounds in preparation for this fight. Andrea Meneses, someone who has lost to Tiny Mexa. Tiny Mexa was Kayla Rocco's most recent win. So she's coming in with a lot of confidence, as we see, unleashing some of those kicks and eating them too.
Alex, you live life in the gym. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, you're a fighter, you want to get better, you have these resources, you have fighters that are good at certain things. What's that like? You go up across them and say, hey, show me, how do you do this? Is it simple as that?
Yeah, and it's also getting your teammates to emulate the type of fight style that your opponent has. Planning, having a game plan, and that's what Kayla Rocco is able to utilize, that stiff jab. Just watch Andrea Meneses eat it straight to the mouth. You eat a few of those and you start to taste blood in your mouth, you're going to get pretty angry.
And a double leg, and she sits down Andrea Meneses with conviction.
And to the back she's trying to get to, but good defense from Andrea Meneses, and Kayla Rocco makes it to the back. We'll see if she's able to get her hooks in here.
Doing a very good job of it, already getting for that rear naked choke attempt, and it's almost there. As you can see, the grappling, certainly the jiu-jitsu is on form here for Rocco.
And Kayla Rocco has some serious flexibility as well. We don't really notice it when people are getting their hooks in, but being able to have the dexterity in the legs to hold your opponent down and control them is really something that people don't understand is very difficult to do. And now here she's working to get that second hook in. And Andrea Meneses just trying to stay calm and weather the storm, because we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds in round 1. This is not a place you want to be for the top grappler to be on your back.
And Alex, you can explain this better than I can, but I know with the rear naked choke, the one thing you don't want to do is give up the neck, which Andrea Meneses just did there.
Yes, and she's not completely under the jaw or the chin yet, but she's working for it. She doesn't have a body triangle locked up yet, so she's going to try to move for that eventually. But again, Andrea Meneses is just trying to play smart here, because when you have someone as lethal as Kayla Rocco on your back, you don't want to make any mistakes.
Meneses very calm, which is easier said than done as she tries to roll out of it.
Shifts into that body triangle here, better control, now with 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
You see some of the Spanish flags there? Yeah, about a minute. We're almost halfway through this first round. The Spanish flags there outside the jaula. The Spanish MMA scene has gone through the roof. Training out of Barcelona, Meneses, but it's not just there. I think well documented, the Canary Islands. I don't know what's going on in the Canary Islands, but don't pick a fight if you ever go out there, because there are more and more gyms, and there's some really tough men and women in that part of the world.
And that's what we're all about. We're trying to spread the sport of MMA and get many women into self-defense in general. And one of the biggest points of self-defense, if someone ever attacks you on the street, you want to get to their back. You're not exactly going to want to be doing any flying arm bars or triangles. You want to sustain back position and control the person that is trying to come at you. So this is a great display of control by Kayla Rocco. Now the body triangle is on the inside, so it's not as great of control. And Andrea Meneses just has to weather the storm for 40 more seconds here.
Yeah, it's about getting to round 2. You've already conceded the first round because of the excellent ground game of Kayla Rocco. She is locked in. She's not going to let go with 30 seconds to go. The question is, will Andrea Meneses tap out?
And when we're looking at what Combat IQ was looking at, they were looking at number of takedowns, takedown attempts, and control time. So she's racking up that control time right now, and that is what made her our top grappler of 2023.
15 seconds. Meneses has almost made it there, but Kayla Rocco showing a little bit of why she's the top grappler and why she is on her way to getting her hand raised at the end of this fight.
She's hungry for the submission, but Andrea has great shelled-up defense.
A round of applause for both fighters. Meneses surviving, Kayla Rocco dictating the pace and the style of the fight. We'll take a listen here to Meneses' corner. The question is, you can't keep boxing with her. Didn't see a lot of that at the tail end, but it wants more combinations as well.
Yeah, Kayla was really sticking that jab right down the clown's mouth. And then this double leg takedown, very vicious. And it's not just about getting the takedown. It's about scrambling and maintaining the position, which she did.
Setting up the takedown with the striking game, which Rocco's very good at, even though we're showcasing her as the grappler.
What are they advising her now?
Double jab, uno. Set it up.
And Thiago Alves in the corner of Kayla Rocco. A lot of stars at American Top Team of the likes of like Dustin Poirier, Jorge Masvidal, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, like we just talked about.
We'll be back with round 2 inside the house. We're back here, the best of Combate Global, the best performances. We are highlighting Kayla Rocco, round 2. Rocco in the red and the white, facing Andrea Meneses. Good news, Alex, for Meneses. She made it to round 2, and Rocco gave it her best, but now she's going to have to pick up her back, standing up, finding a way to get this fight potentially back on the ground.
And we're being blessed with a karate versus boxing type style. We're seeing some of those Kyokushin kicks coming from Andrea Meneses, and then we're also seeing some phenomenal boxing from Kayla Rocco with those stiff jabs and just really pacing around Andrea Meneses as much as she needs to find those openings.
Black belt in Karate Kyokushin with regards to Meneses.
And now we have open scoring here at Combate Global, as we can see Kayla Rocco walked away with round number 1, feeling very confident. And that's information that she's going into round 2 knowing, because we have open scoring here at Combate Global. So how will she use this information? Just continue that momentum into round 2 and 3.
Very interesting, Alex, when we look at the open scoring, which is unique to Combate Global. The fighters can't have access to that. Some of them decide to hear it, some don't. Some corners will welcome it. Some will say, I don't want my fighter to hear. It is completely up to them. What would you prefer?
I think I would want to know by the second round where I'm at. Andrea Meneses, yeah, maybe not the first. Maybe I could feel, after Andrea's performance, having her back taken, she probably knew. But, ooh, a big hit from Kayla Rocco. She is an atom weight, but she has a stiff jab and a tough right. She told me that her strongest weapon is her right hand, and we just saw a little bit of it there.
Just really good. Again, this is the top grappler, but you can see the wherewithal when it comes to striking. Good head movement, good jab, good counter punching.
And again, some of the stats that we get to see live from Combat IQ, they use a machine to help build this information out, using artificial intelligence to keep track of these stats live.
2 minutes down here in round 2. Rocco winning, no doubt about Rocco winning round 1.
Definitely no doubt there.
And Meneses caught her with that straight. The corner was telling about getting the jab involved in it, and she did, but that
nice
seems to have fired
right.
up Rocco.
And now both of these fighters having to weather the storm a little bit, feel each other out. But we're seeing some strong overhand rights from Kayla Rocco. But again, Andrea Meneses not scared. She's trying to walk down Kayla Rocco, feeling confident.
A big right on the chin. So in round 1, we saw a fight on the ground. Round 2, still have a ways to go, but it's been on the feet. And these, I get the feeling both of them want this moment to show what their striking can provide.
Yeah, and a lot of their striking is going to lead into those grappling exchanges. So Kayla Rocco will never really just, shoot from a distance. She's usually looking to pepper in some striking before going in for a takedown. And here she's looking for that right timing. You can see her timing it out with that jab.
Counter-punching huge in mixed martial arts, as it is in any combat sport. Big kick upstairs. The corner of Meneses liked it, but the response for Rocco was swift with that right hand.
Kayla Rocco is looking sharp. And again,
there's a takedown.
There we go, a takedown attempt. What can she do up against the fence? Again, another double leg takedown, changing levels and scrambling to top position. Really maintaining the position over Andrea Meneses. We'll see what her escaping ability is here
For those new to MMA, you get on top. It is about clearing the guard of the fighter in the back. Right now, Meneses has her in her guard. If she can get that leg over, then Meneses could be in big trouble.
And we've seen Kayla Rocco use this half guard position and really maintain control. Andrea Meneses looking to get her full guard back, but the cage is getting a little bit in the way. Now she's working up, but she's leaving her neck open. Kayla Rocco has a strong guillotine too that she's working, but it looks like here she's gonna work towards the back instead. And we could see what we saw in round number 1, where she moves to the back.
Under a minute to go here in round 2. Rocco doing everything right. She has had her foot on the pedal, and she's been able to showcase her striking and certainly her ground game. Getting that leg locked in there. We can't see what exactly she's hooked onto, but she's hooked onto something.
Yeah, Kayla Rocco is trying to isolate that arm. If you get an arm in a head anytime in jiu-jitsu, you know you have the potential to finish a choke. So that's what she's looking for here. And again, it comes down to the dexterity of her legs. You know, these are very crazy positions that don't seem like much when you're watching, but it comes with a lot of strength, especially with female fighters. Their strongest asset is their legs. So being able to control your opponent with your legs is something that people will be looking to do. She might be hunting for an arm here.
Almost flattening it out there, and look at Meneses holding onto her hand for dear life, but just like she did in round 1, she survives round 2. A little worse for wear, a little blood in the nose, but she'll see the light of round 3.
You can tell K-Rock really wants that finish.
She's all business, huh? Look at that. It was the same look on her face at the beginning till now. Thiago Alves likes it, and he'll tell her. He probably got the scoring because you're up 2 rounds.
I love the mentality going into these break moments, really calming down the nervous system, really focusing on what needs to get done.
So that one punch there by Meneses, which scored, but it wasn't enough. So Meneses, whether she wants to get the scoring or not, probably knows she's down 2 rounds.
A few scratches on the eyes, but other than that, K-Rock is looking good to go. And Johnny Eblin in her corner as well.
Kayla Rocco will prepare for round 3, and we'll be back on the Best of Combate Global Best Performances after this. We are back here on the Best of Combate Global Best Performances. Max Bretos, Alex Wendling. We are here in round 3. Kayla Rocco will get the official scoring here, but we can just get ahead of us here and acknowledge she won both rounds. She is in the red and the white, fighting Andrea Meneses of España. Meneses down 2 rounds, has to go for it here.
Yeah, and all these 2 rounds have been, the same story. A tough jab, measuring distance with the teep, and Andrea Meneses not being able to connect as much as she wants.
And then both rounds ending on the ground, courtesy of the takedown by Rocco. Working that lead leg, so Meneses leaves that leg out, and Rocco's going to strike it.
And just like you said, Max, the scoreboard is in Kayla Rocco's favor, 18-20 across the board. Andrea needs a finish, a TKO, a submission to get the win over Kayla Rocco here.
Meneses has the tools. She fighting there out of Uppercut Training Center in Barcelona. She is very good as a grappler, but also can match the wrestling that Rocco possesses.
And it seems like Kayla Rocco just isn't respecting the power of Andrea. She's not afraid to get in the pocket here and also dance at distance. So K-Rock, has no fear because Andrea hasn't landed too many clean shots. Kayla Rocco definitely has tasted a few. We saw a few bloody moments here.
Much more strikes from Meneses, not as accurate as Rocco, but throwing a lot. And I think when you've been on the ground those first 2 rounds, that's a promising sign for Meneses and her corner, but she is fighting a very, very good opponent.
And Kayla Rocco really starting to get into the flow of those combinations. But that teep kick is what's really keeping her away.
For our audience out there, we talk about good grappling, but what makes a good grappler is a good stand-up game. And we see this for Rocco because it sets up the grappling. She's obviously thinking about the next move if she can get close enough.
We finally saw one great right overhand from Andrea Meneses. She's going to have to get hungry. We have 2 minutes and 53 seconds left in this final round. She knows she's down, and Kayla Rocco is not going to take it, so this could be an all-out war in the center of La Jaula.
So far, it is heading that direction, but there's the takedown, and down goes Meneses, who is starting.
Double leg again. It's been a story of the double leg takedown. She lands in Andrea Meneses' guard, but that doesn't seem like too much of an issue because we haven't seen that much offense from Andrea's guard game here. But we'll see if Kayla Rocco is able to land some ground and pound.
Ooh. You can see the blood coming off the face of Rocco. Some of those elbows may have connected there. That's no fun. You're on the ground, back to the ground, and your opponent's blood
And when you're
coming right at you.
And when you're in a position that Andrea Meneses is in, you want to either keep your opponent far away from you, kick them away, or keep them close to you so they don't have the space to get any punches, ground and pound off. So as you can see, Kayla Rocco wanted to disengage after she felt a little bit of blood, but now she's looking to pass her guard and get stuck again in the guard of Andrea Meneses.
There's a solid gash over that left eyebrow of Rocco. This is important because it could be a little lower and it could jeopardize the fight for Rocco. So many things could go sideways in mixed martial arts, even if you're winning. And Meneses knows that, Alex. She's just dropping those elbows.
Solid elbows, and that's definitely something you can do with a closed guard game. We'll see if she uses some hip dexterity to capture a triangle, an arm bar, because she does not want to stay on the bottom side of ground and pound against a girl like Kayla Rocco. Very aggressive and wanting the finish. She doesn't want to settle for a decision win here.
No, and Rocco doesn't want any more of those elbows, so she's going to find a different route to get to the back. There she gets again. She did this in round 1. She did it in round 2. She's done it again.
And it's in the moments of scrambling exchanges that cardio is showing out for Kayla Rocco. Anytime there has been a moment of who's going to get to this position first, Kayla Rocco has capitalized. Andrea Meneses probably needs to, go back to the drawing board, work on that cardio and that explosivity when you have moments. Because in MMA, it's a game of milliseconds, especially at this professional level at the atomweight division with Speedy Gonzalez. Kayla Rocco making the most of that cardio.
You can see Rocco looking at her corner. She's taking the coaching, which again is very difficult to do. You're in a fight, and you're sitting there, you're getting instructions. There she keeps looking over.
And now she has a seatbelt grip against Andrea Meneses. This could result in her getting her back fully taken. She has one hook in, trying to swivel around to the back, but Andrea Meneses making a mistake in going down against the cage here.
Well, the fight is won. As we get to the final 10 seconds, Rocco looks back. She'll get one more attempt, but she'll have to settle for the decision. But this was impressive, Alex, from pillar to post.
And who knows, a few more seconds there, maybe K-Rock could have gotten the submission.
After 3 rounds of much more action, this is the final decision. Después de 3 vueltas de mucha más acción, esta es la decisión oficial. Los jueces James Lazater and Richard Green Sr. entregan tarjetas idénticas de 30 a 27. Lazater and Green Sr. turn in identical scorecards of 30 to 27. And Robert Christopher Edgehill turns in a card of 29 to 28. Entrega tarjeta de 29 a 28. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. Todos a favor de la ganadora por decisión unánime. Kayla Rocco!
It was dramatic there, but a unanimous decision, well deserved for Kayla Rocco. Welcome back to the Best of Combate Global here on Fuse TV. We're looking at our #1 grappler, Kayla Rocco. You don't become #1, Alex, with just one fight. Let's look a little further back at how she got there, looking at her fights in 2023, even in 2022.
Yeah, she's on a 3-fight win streak now, all of those by decisions, but we'll see that she almost gets the sub in one of these fights, and she's been working hard for that over there at American Top Team to finish a fight.
Let's get a closer look at numero uno when it comes to grappling, K-Rock.
Welcome back to the Best of Combate Global. We're looking at the best performances of 2023. We're looking back at Maritza Sanchez.
Yes, and we're really going to get to see her resilience and tenacious mentality coming up.
Maritza Sanchez front and center here on Combate Global.
Stoked for the 2024 season.
2024, you'll see Kayla Rocco and Maritza Sanchez inside the jaula. Make sure you join us here on the Best of Combate Global. For Alex Wendling, I am Max Bretos. So long.